To another edition of Cote's Cube. My name's Justin Cote, and I've hijacked the show from Chris. And well, usually on the show we have nice, happy, fun things to say, but seeing as how, you know, the recent Gulf oil spill, it's in his 52nd today, 53rd day. Yeah, oil's been gushing into the Gulf 53 days straight now, and we just kind of wanted to catch up with Matt McClain here from the Surfrider Foundation and see exactly what's going on and you know, what their efforts are, and see what the Surfrider Foundation's been up to. So, Matt, good morning.
How you doing?
Good. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet under a little happier circumstances, but them's the breaks.
Yeah, every time I come down, it's never good news because we're always fighting a campaign. But yeah, this one's definitely a bummer.
So, first of all, what are some of the initiatives the Surfrider Foundation has undertaken to, you know, battle this spill?
Well, the Surfrider Foundation has actually been involved in an offshore drilling campaign for about 2 years. We got into it in 2008 in response to the Bush administration's failure to renew the offshore drilling moratorium, and kind of saw that that really was a big liability. We've seen significant spills in the past, obviously in 1969 off the coast of Santa Barbara, again in 1978 in the Gulf of Mexico. And so, you know, we were concerned that we needed to get in and kind of get us out of this hole that we've put ourselves into in regards to offshore drilling. So the spill, you know, that happened right now in the Gulf, for us it's challenging because it's on a magnitude that's so great. I think that nobody was prepared to see what we're seeing now. So
suffice to say that everyone's been totally overwhelmed by all of this.
Yeah, it has been. I think that, you know, one of the things that we talked about for a long time in regards to offshore drilling is that you hear a lot about the technologies, right? They're saying, oh, you know, there's no worry, we have new technology. Well, I think the technology was actually to reach the oil. We didn't have any technology in place to deal with in case an accident or a spill happened, and that's what we're seeing now. So,
all right. Well, is there any good news coming out of the Gulf area right now? I mean, what are some positives we can look at?
Sadly, there is no good news. I think this is kind of one of the distressing parts of this, is that we're 53 days into it, and it just seems to get worse day by day. So, I mean, the latest news is that it appears that the wellbore, the casing that's underneath the surface, may have cracked when they tried to do the top kill effort. If that's true, what happens is that the oil is coming out of the well at 26,000 psi. So to kind of frame that for everybody out there, a fire hose shoots at 5,000 psi, maybe with a top burst rate of 1,000 psi. So imagine 26 fire hoses, the pressure behind 26 fire hoses shooting out. That's why this well has been so difficult to contain. And so as it shoots out through the sides of this casing now, it's permeating into that rock strata and then coming up out of the ocean floor. So what that means is that basically the effort to try to cap this well, it's almost moot at this point if it's coming out of the ocean floor. So I think the only possibility really for serious containment would be to try to get those relief wells, but that in itself is its own challenge. You know, it's never been tried. The well spill that we saw in Australia last year with the Montara in the East Timor Sea, that occurred in 250 feet, I believe. The Ixta spill, which was in the Gulf of Mexico, down by off the coast of Mexico in '78, that was in 500 feet of water. So we're at a level of 5,000 feet, which is, you know, 10 times greater. So it's just been really difficult to pose a really unique set of challenges. So unfortunately, you know, everyone's kind of wondering, you know, what's going on for cleanup? How do we do all that stuff? We have to get this well stopped first, if that's possible, and it may not be possible.
So you were saying earlier that could go on for a year. Nobody knows.
Right. There's quite a few geologists and university professors out there who are guessing that, you know, if we're not able to contain this, it could go on for many, many years, as we saw with the Lakeview Gusher up in Bakersfield. For those people out there who don't know, that's the largest spill ever in the United States, which happened 19 2014, I believe, up in Bakersfield. Went on for 2 years. So,
and so while the Gulf is obviously completely screwed and buried in oil, it's gonna reach currents, possibly reach currents, go up the eastern seaboard over to Europe.
We're seeing right now that it's already starting to wash over to Florida. It's been washing up on the Panhandle. Eventually, it will circulate. It's already found its way into the loop current, and that's particularly dangerous in that will take it around the tip of Florida through the Keys and up the eastern seaboard. And potentially some models are showing this oil going all the way over to Europe.
It's devastating news. Everyone's kind of like, hey, what can we do? And I recently said, yeah, let's boycott British Petroleum. But is that a waste of time? Or I mean, what is something we can do?
Right. I think we're not going to solve America's energy crisis overnight. I mean, we absolutely rely on oil and petroleum products for many, many things. Our surfboards are made out of it. I think what we need to do is have a comprehensive plan to transition from fossil fuels and non-renewable fuels to clean energy. I think the first step in that should be to put the moratorium on offshore drilling back in place. There's really not a good reason for it. I think if you look at it risk-reward, the risk of what we're seeing right now in the Gulf happening elsewhere is not worth the 18-month supply of oil that's out there. And that's an estimate that comes from the USGS. That's the amount of oil that we can extract at maximum from our offshore drilling supplies, 18-month supply at our current rate of consumption. So, this spill is going to go along, and the effects of this spill is going to go on for generations. Is that worth 18 months? We don't think so.
Yeah, and it's not only affecting, obviously, the birds and the fish that we all see pictures of, but there's surf shops, there's fishermen, there's, There was a Yancey Spencer over at Interlight gave an interview this week, and his business is way off. And for those guys down there in the Gulf, I mean, that's seasonal business for them. If you're a small business owner in this economy and you lose, a peak season like that, you're going to be out of business. And it's just devastating to see the impact that it's having, not just in the environment, for people down there whose their families have been shrimping for generations. I think the recreational fishing industry down there accounts for $42 billion annually. What are those guys going to do? So, this is a catastrophe that's going to affect, broad spectrum for a long, long time. It's nothing good coming out of there. So, what's something that I don't live in the Gulf? What can I do right now to help?
Mm-hmm. So, first thing was, we asked people to support our efforts to get this moratorium back in place. If you go to our website, our campaign website, which is nottheanswer.org, there is a tool on there that people can log on to and send a message to President Obama to support reinstating the oil moratorium. We'll also have a tool if you happen to be in the Gulf area. We've partnered with an organization called SkyTruth, and so we have a tool, a tracker, if you will, where people can go out and actually record where this oil is coming ashore. This is incredibly valuable for us because it helps us identify, where this oil is coming on shore, so that when the time comes for us to really direct cleanup efforts, we know where to do it, and we have a record of that. So, and there's a few other things that people can do. We've listed that out again on the website, but I think the big thing right now is really kind of support efforts to get this moratorium back in place. So
that's step one in many steps, and we'll be following the Gulf oil spill. Maybe for the rest of our lives.
It's looking that way. It's going to be for a long time. Unfortunately, it's funny because we're used to fighting campaigns. The Surfrider Foundation is used to fighting campaigns that are protracted. The Trestles campaign took us, about a decade, and we've had other battles that have gone on for even longer than that. But I think the scary part is that, there's so much unknown here, and the effects are going to be so dramatic that, this is kind of uncharted grounds for not just us, but for a lot of people out there.
All right, Matt. Well, thanks for coming down, and hopefully next time you'll bring us some little bit better news.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Cote, Cote, Cote.